as the protector of those who do not belong to conventional society, and thus symbolizes everything which is chaotic, dangerous, and unexpected, everything which escapes human reason and which can only be attributed to the unforeseeable action of the gods. He is also known as Bacchus, the name adopted by the Romans, and the frenzy he induces. His thyrsus is sometimes wound with ivy and dripping with honey. It is a beneficent wand, but also a weapon, and can be used to destroy those who oppose his cult and the freedoms he represents. He is also the liberator Athenorius, whose wine, music, and ecstatic dance frees his followers from self-conscious fear and care, and subverts the oppressive restraints of the powerful. Those who partake of his mysteries are possessed and empowered by the God himself. His cult is also the cult of souls. His maenads feed the dead through blood offerings, and he acts as a divine communicant between the living and the dead.
Yeah, so this is that God, that their God, the Greek, that one of their Greek gods that Antiochus Epiphanes forced the Israelites to follow. So I mean, you have figures of that of guys like Jay-Z, these Jakes in the hip hop world, the NBA world, you know, the music industry outside of hip hop. You know, these actors. If an actor came into town, you know, there'll be a frenzy to touch him, to meet him, to get his autograph, like he's a god. They're among the know. They're also known as lesser luminaries, because all these different guys in the hip hop world and actors and athletes, they're all lesser luminaries to the real Illuminati, which are the Rothschilds and the super rich. And then Antiochus Epiphanes, he spoke about a one world order, right? He said that the world will be one people. And that goes back to Genesis, the 11th chapter, the Tower of Babel. All right? So this is why our people are so confused, and the masses of our people can't wake up to the fact that they're Israelites, because the Most High closed your mind so you can't see it. But now the Most High is getting ready to take this place out. Now you want to speak in behalf of good white people. This was a good Roman emperor, good Roman Caesar. That didn't exist. The Greeks, you had the Olympics not too long ago, earlier in the summer, right? You had the Olympics, and you have a lot of these jakes that are athletes, and they're not butt naked, but they wear these spandex type. You have the woman, the black woman. You can see the shape of her breast, the shape of her ass. So in essence, she's basically naked. You know. You have the boxers. They don't have a shirt on. You can see their bare legs. They might have shorts, but back during that time period, they were actually butt naked. So these jakes want to be a part of this world, so they're going to die with this world. All the history is here to show you. We all have all the documents to show you that this man is a devil, and he continuously proves that he's a devil, time after time after time. All right, so we don't need to get into that no more. What I want to do is I want to get the director up and ready, and we want to go to the first. Now this right here, let me get you ready for this, and I might have the producer in post-production. You might have to put a black box around the woman's titties, but this is a black woman, your queen to be, the great black woman that you put on the pedestal. This black woman, any of you brothers deal with a black woman, and you got any problems, do not come to me. Do not come to me asking for your advice. I ain't got no advice for you, man. I told you to stay away from that bitch. But this is this black woman down there at Zuccotti Park last year. This was on, I believe, Christopher Columbus Day, and she was protesting, I guess, the Wall Street thing, the 1%, and I guess at the same time Christopher Columbus Day, but she was butt naked with paint on her face. And then she's going to mention about the society of Cushite women who were warriors and shit. The black woman's out of her fucking mind, man. But anyway, this also ties in with the whole thing with Christopher Columbus, because now we're going to go into Christopher Columbus and his wickedness, his wicked deeds. So go ahead, Ak.
I've been here supporting the cause of Occupy Wall Street off and on for a few weeks now. Today we're celebrating, or not celebrating, Columbus Day. Columbus Day represents imperialism, which is really at the root of the greed and corruption that this whole movement is kind of opposing.
And she's trying to sound just like the white girl.
From all over Africa and also Native American, so I kind of have a fusion of things going on in my outfit. Yeah, I mean, the body paint, the toplessness, it's all a statement. It's just, we're actually supposed to be, trying to demonstrate the violence of what was done to brown people all over the world. It's not just, Native Americans and Africans, even though I feel that the Native American and African populations probably took it the hardest and got the most, those populations were decimated the most. We still see the effects of colonialism in Africa today. And so that's what I'm here kind of embodying. It's actually, a lot of people don't know that it is legal to be topless in New York City. And that comes from the women's movements, I think, in the 60s and 70s.
Niggas got to die.
I think it became legal around that time. I'm not sure of the exact date, but it is legal to be topless. A lot of people don't know that, even the cops. But I'm here just representing, my ancestors who were, suffered.
Okay, and I see that you represent the Kandanke, the dance theater for social change.
Yes, I'm the artistic director of a dance theater for social change called the Kandaki. The Kandaki is a reference to the ancient queens of Kush. It was southern Egypt, Sudan, I believe Ethiopia as well. And they were the political, military, and spiritual leaders of their societies. So
yeah, she said the queens of Kush, and she said that there was a warrior society that they sat on thrones and they were over men and they fought in the wars and so forth, which that goes back, like she did mention Kush. That goes back to Makeda and the Queen of Sheba, which it took me a while to find this because I found this a while back. But the Queen of Sheba, there's a myth that she had met with King Solomon, which she did to because she was so amazed of the wisdom that he had, and she brought gifts among other kings. She wasn't the only one. There were other kings and monarchs that visited King Solomon because he was considered the greatest, wisest king at that time. So they wanted to, pay respects to him. So the myth goes that Makeda, or the Queen of Sheba, and Solomon had sex, and she went back to her land and had a son named Melanek, and that's where Haile Selassie came from, that line. So he's trying to say his line goes directly back to King Solomon, right? Which that's BS. The scriptures didn't tell you that. These are all myths, conjecture, from different historians and so forth. The Islamic world, the Arab world have their own story. Then you have the people of Kush, different African tribes that lived in that region. But when you go deep into the history of the Queen of Sheba, she never had sex with Solomon, and she was known for she was part of that so-called society that this crazy black bitch was talking about, which she's supposed to be a descendant of, meaning she doesn't know that she's an Israelite. You know, she probably went to college hanging around them white girls. She probably spread her legs for white boys. She probably was involved in orgies. I'm talking about this chick. I don't know for sure. But if you got your woman and all of a sudden she takes her top off and you still dealing in public and the camera's on and you still dealing with her ass, something's wrong with you. Something's wrong with you, man. You know that woman is a goddamn...